where that is very dicey. Now, we then look at the articles. The articles. Of course, today we have what we call model articles. I've sent you to where you could get model articles. Have we looked at it? If you have identified or you have had a copy of your model article, can you let me, just raise up your hand, please. If you have seen the model articles and you have a copy, Oluwapelumi, do you say that you have a copy of the model articles now?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have to say it as if you mean it. Don't say it like as if you are whispering into my ears. You be very proud. You are the only human being right now that is raising up your hand. So maybe you are saying it just so that in fear that I might be asking you questions. Not yet. I just want those who are taking this class seriously. You are not many, so this is not. So I'm happy. I want to congratulate you for at least taking out the time to at least have a look at it. And for the class who are ready to, who are yet to, you can ask Oluwapelumi how she did it, and she can charge you any money. So she will not do the right. It's very easy. Now, so that is just the model articles. Now, when you look at the relevant provisions of this article, look at it. Articles essentially, look at section 32, for instance. These are the provisions that are relevant to the articles. It says a company shall have articles of association prescribing regulations for the company. Prescribing regulations for the company. Before I get inside, remember that this memo, what is going to be stated in the memo must be legislated. And you will soon see certain provision that tells you that confirms that, and even how you tamper with memo. There are provisions that way. So, and that is why it's very, very important to be sure that we know what we are doing. Now, if you look at section, I want you to go to section 20, no, sorry, section 49. Look at section 49, for instance. In connection with memo. In connection with memo, look at section 49. A company may not alter the conditions contained in its memorandum, except in the cases and in the manner and to the extent for which express provision is made in this act. So not only does section 27 requires you to have memo of a particular content, in terms of altering it, you cannot alter it except in the manner the act provides. Okay? Then it then tells you under subsection 2, or there's section 49 subsection 2 now, only those provisions which are required by section 27 or by any other specific provisions contained in the act to be stated in the memo of a company concerned are deemed to be conditions contained in its memo. They are deemed to be the conditions contained in its memo. So, which means essentially what we have been reading so far under section 27 are, in a matter of speaking, in the language of company law, they are the conditions contained in its memorandum. Because what we call provisions that are to be contained, or conditions to be contained in the memo, must be those that are prescribed by section 27 or any other specific provisions that the act requires must be stated in the memo. So that is very, very important. And when it comes to the point of alteration, you can look at section 50, then look at section 51. they teach us about alteration of the memo. Again, 51 talks specifically about altering the object or the business. If you want to alter it, you must have compliance with section 51. Okay, that is, if your alteration relates to business or its object, section 51 is the way to go. You must endeavor, to comply with it. Now we are going to look at again section 52. It says subject to the provisions of section 49. Section 49 is the one that I was reading to you relating to the alteration and restriction. That is, you cannot do it except as this law provides and stuff like that. And then section 51, 52 about alteration, okay, of memo. Because the section 49 talks about to alter it, you must comply with how the law says you must alter it. It's very important. Okay. And in the specific instances, you can do so too. Section 51 also helps. 50, 51, and of course, you are going to also take along with that section 52. So when you are discussing memo, and you are looking at section 27, you are looking at section 49, you are looking at section 50, you are looking at 51, you are looking at 52. If you don't look at all of these things, which means all you have learned is that there is something called memo. What is it about? There's no way you can know. And you have to know. You have to know. So that is what it is. Now we leave that and then move to the articles. Now the articles, of course, as I told you, if you read section, articles conceptually are regulations. They are regulations for the company. And that is why it is stated in section 32(1). As such, a company shall have articles of association prescribing regulations for the company. Prescribing regulations for the company. Now, the use of article in contradistinction to memo is this. We told you that memorandum is a document of enumerated issues. The government has to enumerate it in the act, and that's why we are there looking at section 27. Article isn't precisely that way. There are cases where the law do say that certain things must be stated in the article. But because article is regulation, the whole of company law itself is regulated. Is regulation, okay, in the particular way. There are cases of empowerment. The act empowers you, but it doesn't tell you how to utilize that empowerment. Okay? And because every company can utilize it differently, the only medium through which they can manifest the use of the empowerment is through the articles. It's through the articles. So if the act empowers or enables, but it hasn't told you what or how you appropriate that empowerment or enablement, you have to spell it out in your articles. So and there are also cases or issues that the act has been silent on. If you consider those issues as important to you, you can now regulate it through the articles. So the article serves as issues of residual matters in which, although the act is silent, you can utilize it to help yourself. You can utilize it to help yourself. It is important. Okay, that is as far as the company is involved now. Okay, so that is the essence. And as I told you too, for those who are familiar with default provisions, most or some of the default provisions can only be customized. The customization that a default provision requires can only be done through the articles, and the law also prescribes it. And somebody mentioned section 87 subsection 3, which is that except the articles otherwise provides. So this is the rule for you. If you don't like that rule, by empowering you to otherwise provide in the articles, you can change it. But you cannot change a default underlying rule where the statutory provisions is indicating to you that you can only do so by the articles. So section 88 too is there, that except it is otherwise provided in the articles, so and so. And of course, we saw section 43 that the otherwise provided is by the memo, not even any other thing relating to power. So that is just it. So that is for those of us who wants to understand more about articles. Those are the issues, the important thing is that we need the articles for. So now, in terms of its content, it depends on, it is a very functional document. It is a very functional document, but the extent of you being able to use the article for good measure depends on your knowledge of company law and company act. Because if you do not, because the article must work in tandem with the act. The article must work in tandem with the act. As a matter of fact, both the articles and the memo are documents that must work in tandem with the act, because they cannot be seen to contradict the act. They cannot be seen, obliquely to be against the act. They must be in conformity. So the extent you can utilize the article for is to the extent that you do not use it to contradict the legislation, because both the articles and the memo, they are subservient to the act. They are subservient to the act. Now, I want to take your mind to section 723. It's a section you must learn to read and understand. Section 723. So please, you can look at that section and add it to your to-do list in terms of you need to read it, you need to understand it. It's not something you have a choice. You must know about it. Okay? You know about it. So let's see. So if you have seen it, can somebody? Yes, you can. There's a Oyelola Bankole, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. So
Exactly.
section 723 states, provides for the act to override memorandum and articles. And subsection 1 states that, except as otherwise expressly provided in this act, the provisions of this act shall have effect, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, contained in the memorandum or articles of a company, or in any agreement executed by it, or in any resolution passed by the company, in general meeting or by its board of directors, whether the same be registered, executed, or passed as the case may be, before or after the commencement of this act.
Okay. Thank you. So you can see, and when you have read A, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you read B with it, please?
Okay, sir. So subsection B states that any provision contained in the memorandum or articles, agreement or resolution as in paragraph A shall, to the extent to which it is repugnant to the provisions of this act, become or be void, as the case may be.
Thank you. Thank you. So repugnancy is also there. I'm sure you have heard about repugnancy before, right? Have you heard about Oyelola? Have you heard about repugnancy before?
Yes, sir.
What year is that? I mean, in Faculty of Law, as a student in class now, not in your literature. So what year did they teach you repugnancy doctrine? Is either you know it or you don't know.
It was as regards when laws, particularly customary laws, are not in conformity with the grand rule, the grand norm rather, which is the Constitution.
Yes, yes, you would have been taught that in year 2. That's what I want to know. So you can go over your legal system to know the essence of repugnancy. So now you are hearing that there is no resolution of members. There is no resolution of directors. There is no provision of articles. There is no contract that the company might enter into that will negate the provision of this act, because the act is supreme over all of these documents you have mentioned. The act is supreme over memo, is supreme over articles, it is supreme over the resolution passed by the members in meeting, the resolution passed by the directors in their meeting, or the agreement that you have reached by that you have entered or executed by the company on behalf of the company. All of those, if they are inconsistent, they are void. If they are repugnant, because sometimes repugnancy comes into operation where there is no clear-cut inconsistency, but the trust of what is in any of those resolutions is to impair a provision of the act, then it is repugnant to it. It's like an insult to it, underminer, then it becomes void as well. So that is for you all to know that as important as articles are, then it must not be in contradiction of the act. Okay, it is very important for you to know. Now, the model articles. So, who said he saw the model article or has it? Who is that person again? Who was the person that said she's seen the model articles?
That's it.
Okay, now the model articles. The model articles. How would you describe the whole document of model articles? How would you categorize it in terms of the provision of the act? As a provision type, are they enabling provisions? Are they default provisions? Are they whatever? How do you describe the articles?
Yeah, so, sir, in my opinion, I think they are different.
Your voice is very far. I don't know how you are more close to the system.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Can you hear me now, sir?
Better, yes, far better.
Okay, so I was saying that I think, in my opinion, from like what I've seen, I think it's a default provision because it's like a model. So it will only arise, or it is like a sleeping lion or something that it would only be awakened when the company does not
Now, I want you to go by your initial classification. I'm interested in the fact that you say, although with hesitation, that it's like a default provision. I know you are not confident about that statement, but I think it is correct. It's just that you cannot explain it how it is a default provision. But if you know what a default provision is, you should be able to then explain the model articles in terms of that. And I want you to make another effort again to re-answer that question. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. So the articles that are provided in the document are models for companies who do not already have their articles drafted. So these models would, as a matter of necessity, because every company has to have an article, so as a matter of necessity to apply to companies who refuse to take up or to enjoy the power that has been vested in them by the act to draft their own article. This article will now apply for them in their case if they do not already have an article drawn up.
Now, thank you. Now, let me, for the sake of the class, because it appears you are the only human being that is ready to say anything. The rest, they have not done the news. That is what we talk about. We met the last time Monday. Go and see model article. Nobody cares. And then when you don't do too well of it, you cry. Now, and then you only see few people doing well. Now, the rules in the model articles, they are the equivalent of underlying rules. You are at liberty to adopt those rules, and those rules will govern the matters to which they relate to, or the matters to which they relate. Those rules will apply until you have the opportunity to change it. At the heart of all articles, whether model or default articles, in fact, we used to call it default articles, they are underlying rules, and they come with an empowerment to change. They come with an empowerment for those adopting them to adopt them, to modify them. But in case they do not modify or adopt, even you can delete some of them. To the extent you don't, then they bind you as the only law that you have. As the only law that you have. There is a power to change all articles. Alex, okay, ìwọ ló pè mí. Mo wà ní kíláàsì. Ilẹ̀ gbé wá.
We can hear you now, sir.
Okay, so you have not been hearing me and you didn't shout out. I'm sorry. Okay, just hold on.
Hello, sir. You're muted, sir. Can't hear you, sir.
Hello, sorry, Jerry, my students, sorry. There was emergency I needed to attend to. So now, so what I was trying to say is that as much as possible, all of these issues, particularly the memo, the content, and the model articles, only one person out of 300 said she saw model article. I'm sure now that with her knowledge of even the fact that she saw it, and there's not anybody wants to write about model except to explain the concept and how it is being applied. She will be in pole position to be able to apply these things to her own knowledge because she tried. But for those of you, it is like a miracle. It's like something so strange for you. And I know many will not still go and see it. Many will not. But for those who want to understand it, there are so many little things that are joined to it, which this lecture we put together. And that is why listening, taking your notes, and then be ready to participate in next class is very important because there are still a lot to be said about now. In the next class, there are still one or two issues that we are going to discuss that are arising from memo, that will impact also the articles. So if you have not read any of these contents of the articles, it becomes a very difficult stuff. Okay. So, and I want you to, in the next class, I want you to read from section 49. Read section, no, sorry, read section 46. Section 46. Okay, section 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. And also read section 35 for me. Read those ones. Okay, when we are back, then we are going to be looking at how related these sections are and for what value, they give us. So on that note, I will be ending the class. For those who make contributions so much, many thanks to you. I really do appreciate your effort. I know it is not easy, but then you are blazing the trail, you really don't care. You just want to be part of your class. And that is the spirit, really. It liberates you. It is very liberating. For those who still continue not to talk, I don't know, it is like a bondage. You have to free yourself. Talk. Own your class. Create a knowledge base for yourself. Okay, that's how it is. So have a very wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much.
No, let's do first and just put and what's your problem? Sorry, not the both is mad though.
Yeah, let me check maps for the address. Is that food they just brought out? This will have big stomach. If this is normal food, they brought out. Too much food or too little. I still want that for that. Yeah, no. But why is the dinner right first B? It's 12 minutes away. 12. That's what I'm thinking. Like we can't even start. Except for the sun.
Let's start our journey.
Yeah, wait, let me check how long it's take. Let me check how long it's take.
Oh, damn. No, no, no.
Yeah. They said trekking is to take about 1 hour. Trekking is 1 hour, 2 minutes.
And entry bus is 12 minutes.
How come? That's a bit ridiculous. More is let's book ride. Let me show you. Just follow this thing and just scrolling and saying just scroll.
How do I turn it? Okay.
Just keep following.
No further. Like 2 years to get there.
Just be school. Oh, rich. Let us use both. Maybe it will be like okay. Huh?
Hope they have the restroom there. In case my
You
stomach.
can ask for the restroom, you know.
My stomach.
Take tissue now. They'll be tissue at the restroom. Can't be that bad. It's that thing.
Let's go outside.
Have you booked? Want us to go and stand?
Like when I sit on my feet, my body.
Don't blame me.
Both of them are very hard to change. And like they run now, once you do
3 minutes.
I like this.
Now what? Thanks. That means it's in Ejibo now. What the fuck? We'll trek, we'll reach there before he comes. I'm seeing someone as 1 minute away.
No, hold on.
9 minutes.
Yeah, no,
For them.
Ninja, I pity you. They will cancel. Don't waste your time. They say looking for another rider. They have invite.
Yeah.
Why is it?
What are you shouting about? There is no money in the rice.
4.6 million.
How is that money?
Yeah, somehow.
That's less than your salary. Why would you talk like that? 1 month salary. That's what
I'm saying $100.
last year.
Who be this man with is saying $100?
Let me see.
Please praise Sosodi.
Probably.
Praise.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Aww. Your transaction history just dead. Your brother, you, George, or guy like, fuck is that?
My friend. My friend in UK.
That's sweet. Like, yeah, we send you money every month. So. Yeah. George or
No, we were booking right, bitch.
oh yeah, I got distracted.
Thank you.
George or Jack Pierre.
Why, yeah. It's everybody.
No. And you think it's
Then they will want to rob us.
you have sugar daddy.
Yeah. Am I sugar daddy?
George Udiala Pierre.
Pounds.
On
That's
it's
sugar
no
daddy.
sense of yeah.
You did not check that thing very well.
No, I said 150.
You must see that I'm the one sending the money, not me sending. It's debit, not credit.
Are you
You didn't
serious?
check it. That's why I was just choking.
Why is any money?
It's my laptop, bitch. It's not that other thing.
Oh, George.
I wish. Wow. I wish someone sent me
See me.
money.
I went to I'm not a fool. I went to book for some additional.
Abuja, we will not look around. Where are we?
So, I thought the map was saying to 7 minutes.
When we reach third Milan Bridge, we realize what we've done.
Oh shit. We just
When I-
added it for the
When I
guy.
was coming, I was staring at him like, you know, you pass me.
Yeah.
I was staring.
So you might actually